Hello everyone and welcome back to another part of my F1 23 Road to Glory career mode here with Tauri in Season 1. If you guys remember last time out in Canada, I believe, we got that long overdue podium, and also we finished the race twice in a row. Hopefully we can make that 3 times today without any engine failures, and hopefully can get another podium. Tsunoda finished P4 after that long back straight at the end of Canada, that double overtake against Hamilton, I believe, and Perez, who ended up finishing P6, and Sainz winning, which means that gap, which was 30 points, is now shrunk to only 9 points. A win in the sprint for Sainz today, and a win in the race, and not such a good result for Perez, could see Sainz come back into the championship. And the constructors were P4, having overtaken McLaren, Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo in one big swoop from that almost double podium finish. Remember, we had three huge upgrades, major upgrades I believe, at the end of last time, and another chassis upgrade for us. Our marketing department then. I was a bit unsure what to answer for this. I'm not sure what was the right answer. But I decided overall, in real life, I would choose social media. So I decided to do social media. I thought about interview, but decided social media would be the better way.
Thanks. I know these kinds of decisions can be challenging, but I think you made the right call.
Skip a bit more time and see if our upgrades here succeeded.
They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Decided I got some more weekly resource points, and I decided to buy the tyre wear upgrade. That hopefully will come in time for Spa. I thought about rushing it again, but decided against it. We've got enough rushed upgrade. The upgrade that's coming in, I believe one of them's rushed, the other one's not. I believe the durability one's not rushed. Marketing department event, pretty decent, plus 2,500 driver acclaim. And they both failed. Both of our upgrades, no. DRS and durability. We better not have any internal combustion engine failures now. I'm going to have to repurchase those then. We might have been the second best car on the grid going into Austria if those had succeeded. Now let's head to the race weekend for the Austrian Grand Prix. Remember, it's a sprint, so we're going to do practice 1 now quickly. And then after that, we're going to be doing qualifying and then practice 2. Remember, the sprint sets the grid for Sunday's race. It's not updated yet on F1 23. In the R&D chart, we are now the 3rd best car on the grid. We overtake both Aston Martin and Mercedes and are very close to Ferrari. Red Bull make a small upgrade, so I expect them to still be quite dominant, though Verstappen really hasn't shown what he did last season. Done practice, and let's head to qualifying, which does look wet. First lap then here in qualifying. It's a dry Q1 session, I believe. Hopefully that we can set a decent lap. Slipstream, a bit of a slipstream off Russell, who gets out of the way nicely for us. So we head towards turn 2. I haven't actually driven on this track at all. Go a bit deep there. This is the first time with manual gears again, like it was in Canada. The car overall didn't feel too bad, but the lap was just not the best. It could be so much better. P5 at the moment, but we're definitely going to have to go out again, and we do go out again. It's on the used softs, so we probably would have made it through anyway, but I want to make sure. So we go out again on the used softs, the ones we just used, and hopefully we can find some time, and really we find so much. Turn 1, take it so much better, already a 10th up. Just 2 tenths up, and we're not even at the end of sector 1. That's just how this lap's gone. 6 tenths we've gained. Go a bit wide, unfortunately, at the end here. We lose quite a bit of time, otherwise it might have been 7 tenths, but that's good enough for lap for me. Up into P3. very, very solid. That's going to be it for us. P8 and P9 qualifying. Nice to see Sonoda's up there with us. Really good, and actually competing with us. Let's head into Q2. First lap in Q2. Rain is on the way though here in Q2. I believe at the end of the session it will rain, so we need to make these first laps count. New set of soft tyres. Hopefully we can set a good lap as we go through turn 1. That was really, I think that's the best I've taken turn 1. In this lap, overall, quite a solid lap. I think that is time to find, but I'm not going to go out again, I don't think. I don't see the point. So this lap is fastest of the day so far, 105.8, faster than both Red Bulls, which is very promising. Sonoda and P5. I hope that that's only more than 5 people actually set laps. P3 at the end, skipping time. Hamilton goes out again, but it is raining, so not really any point. Hamilton, though, I think he's out. Yeah, I think that's why he went out, to try and improve his lap. Yep, he's in P15, 2 seconds off the pace. He messed up his first lap then. Sonoda making it through to Q3, as he should be. Alonso, though, shock elimination there in the Aston Martin. Albon making it through to Q2, good stuff for him. But we're both through to Q3. Both Sonoda and I, hopefully we can get some good laps in the wet. And this is a very wet track. Engineer thinking the inters are better than the wets, but this track looks absolutely soaking. I believe it is set to dry out a bit towards the end of the session, but as you can see, me going wide there, I'm not liking these conditions whatsoever. The sprint's set to be wet as well. End of our first lap, it's a 1:13.7, which is not good at all. P6, so we do go out again for a second consecutive lap. This is the first time I've actually driven wet in wet conditions on this game. So we go out again for another lap, that helps, and we go out again for a third lap at the end of the session. Last to go out, 1 second gained, and that's good enough for us to get through, to get all the way up into P5 for Saturday's sprint. Sonoda also up the order with us. I'm not sure where he was, but we're about to see. P4 then for Sonoda, very solid, ahead of us by 0.2. But it's a Ferrari front row lockout. Perez, only P6 for him. That's not what he wants. About 0.7 slower than Charles Leclerc, who's on pole. Now let's head to the race after we've done a bit of R&D, because remember we have now done practice 2. Got as much R&D as possible. We're going to repurchase this major DRS upgrade, and we're also going to repurchase this durability upgrade. That's all we're going to do for now. Let's head to the sprint. Hopefully we can get a good start.
The weather is not looking good today. We're expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. This will make for some very tricky conditions for all the teams. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sonoda, and Alpha Tauri, Perez, Russell, Norris, Gasly, Joe, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Bottas, Magnussen, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please.
So, full wets it looks like. I thought about putting on the inters, but 19 seconds, not worth it. It does dry out a bit towards the end, but wets look like they're the right strategy. Let's head then to the race. The sprint. This is going to be a very difficult. It's so wet. Look at all the standing water. Just look how much spray. I can't see a thing. I can't see Sonoda like from back here. That's how difficult this visibility is. I've never done a start in the wet conditions either. Hopefully we can get a decent start as we line up on the grid. We can optimise the lineup. Oh, 0.1. That's absolutely beautiful.
Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
Absolutely beautiful. Here we go then. 5 red lights in a very wet Austria. Here at the sprint race. It's lights out and away we go. It's not the best start for us. Sergio Perez gets us immediately as we head towards turn 1. We move to the inside and go back down the inside as Sonoda goes to pass Verstappen. As we go into neutral gear there and get a massive tank slap. I'm surprised Perez hasn't overtaken us. As Sonoda and Verstappen ahead going wheel to wheel up to, at the end of sector 1. Sonoda on the inside. Can he get the position? No, Verstappen forces him wide on the outside. Yellow flags behind us. I'm not sure what that's for, but we go through. Verstappen's compromised Sonoda so much. We go through up into P4. Sonoda on the inside. We're going to leave him the space on the inside and try to go back around the outside and keep the position. Nice move up into P4 for us. I don't think we'll be able to get Verstappen though. He's already 6/10 up the road, and that might not seem a lot, but in these wet conditions, that's going to be very difficult to bridge the gap to. Sainz though leads from Leclerc, which despite Leclerc being on pole position, so Sainz giving himself the best possible chance to retake that championship lead from Sergio Perez. As we get off the track, we're really finding these conditions difficult. Obviously, I've never driven in the wet before, so that doesn't help us whatsoever. And by lap 5, we did actually stick with Verstappen for the first couple laps, but lap 4 and lap 5, really difficult. The rain's getting lighter, but I can't really notice it. He had to go to neutral gear again to try and slow the car down, as Perez now tries to go for the move. Deploying ERS though, that's the advantage of the rain. Since you're braking earlier, you can you get more charge on your battery, so I can use that to defend against Perez. But hopefully we can stay ahead. But at the end of lap 6 we go onto the grass. Perez on the outside, going for the move around the outside. We just keep the position and stay in P4. 2 laps of fuel left. 2 more laps. As now into turn 1 we go deep again. Just managed to keep it on the track. It's now Sonoda. Is he going for the move on Sergio Perez there? I think he might be. Go on, Yuki. Down the inside. Good move from him. But once again, we go deep, and I'm just not enjoying these conditions whatsoever. I believe a couple more laps and it would be time for the inters, but through goes Yuki Tsunoda up into P5. What a move from him, especially in these wet conditions. But I can't wait for this race to be over, to be honest. one more lap that we've got to endure. Hopefully Sonoda sticks behind us, unlike he did in Canada and tried to steal that podium away from us. Lap 8, then last lap, we actually did use the clean air and used a lot of our battery to keep away from Sonoda and to stay away, so he didn't actually try and go for the move. Actually, we gained time on him. I think they battled a bit as well, but Sonoda keeps the position. And for us, rounding the last corner, at the end of the last sector, Sainz wins it for Ferrari. 12 seconds the gap between us and Verstappen, I might add. Overall, it was quite a boring sprint. Only overtook one car in these wet conditions. Obviously, that's expected. But P4 is a really good result for us.
So let's see what effect this result has had on the driver's standings. Well, that lead at the top has somewhat shrunk today. With the sprint wrapped up, we now have our grid line up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So, 4th place for us, 5th place for Sonoda. Sainz winning, meaning the gap is only 4 points between in the drivers' standings. No one really made up many positions. I think the maximum amount of positions made up was 1, showing in general what a boring sprint race this was. In the standings, we have 4 points the gap. We're now ahead of Fernando Alonso in the championship. Sonoda also now on the same points as Oscar Piastri. So, shows our car has really developed. And in the constructors, just pulling away from McLaren a bit more. Aston Martin's still not really showing their pace on paper. Now let's head to the race. Thank God it's dry. All dry. 4% chance of rain at the most. So that's really good for us. Nothing else to do. Let's head to the race for the Austrian Grand Prix. Almost said Australia there.
To the first turn, the Niki Lauda curve. It was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen and Tauri, Sonoda, Perez, Norris, Russell, Gasly, Albon, Joe, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Sargent, Stroll, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
No idea what happened there with the grid sequence after that. Crofty just decided to go mute and tell us absolutely nothing. Sack him immediately, I reckon. It's happened in the sprint as well. Maybe he's got like a sore throat or something. No, but I thought about that we're doing the medium soft, but everyone else really around us on soft tyres. So we're going to start on the soft as well. We can do what everyone else is doing and do a soft medium. Now let's start the formation lap. Hopefully these softs can give us a decent start. Obviously everyone else on this will be on the softs as well. Here we go then. Sonoda P5, us P4. So we start our formation lap. I believe Signs is starting on the mediums actually, so interesting strategy from him. Is he going to do a medium harder or medium soft? Usually there I only do medium soft. It's 0.4 parking, it's pretty solid. Here we go then. 5 red lights, a much drier Austria this time ahead of us. It's lights out and away we go. Not good start for Verstappen, not good start for Leclerc. We sneak down the inside of both of them. As now into turn 1 we go, having to defend from Verstappen. Can't quite get Signs, get a bit of an oversteer. But through turn 1 we go. We've gained 2 positions. And that's absolutely fantastic news for us. But Signs already 7 tenths up the road and we're not even at the end of Sector 1. The Ferrari does seem to go well around here. But that's a great start for us. We're up into P2 already. Sonoda couldn't make any gains, but he hasn't lost any position, so that's absolutely fine. So we need to try and get Signs as quickly as possible. He's on the medium, so his tyres will almost certainly become the better tyre after about 7 laps. Lap 3, DRS now enabled. We don't have DRS off Signs. He's actually pulled away from us. We are a worse car than the Ferrari on paper. But here comes Leclerc with DRS. Is he going to go for the move? Yes, down the inside. Charles Leclerc goes for the move. But can we do what Leclerc did to Verstappen in Bahrain 2022 and in Saudi Arabia for a bit? Stay behind and get the DRS to re-overtake. That's exactly what we're going to do with Slipstream. Using ERS, using DRS. Down the inside we go. And we re-overtake Leclerc and we're back up into P2. Sonoda has also overtaken Verstappen, which is really good for him. Sonoda's really pulling his weight in the team now. He didn't at the start, but he's really coming alive in these last couple races. As now Leclerc, I think, is he going to go back for the move here on these couple DRS straights we have here? We go wide. That's not good for us. Leclerc senses that opportunity. We're going side by side. Leclerc's got DRS. Here he goes, and there he goes. Charles Leclerc up into P2, but once again, we've got DRS. We can get the slipstream, and we can re-overtake him. So now, gaining. We're going to go for the move, stay behind before the DRS detection, try and go round the outside, get the better exit, and get DRS as well. Hopefully, can Sonoda also squeeze through? I don't think he can. He's 4 tenths back. I'm not sure if that's actually possible for him to make the move. I think Leclerc's also using some ERS to defend. Now lap 4, beginning lap 5, Leclerc once again going to go for the move. He doesn't learn from his mistakes. And we're going to go, once again, with DRS, we're going to go right back past him. On the outside, textbook move. I lift off a bit here to try and stay behind at the DRS detection point. And we do go right back around the outside and get the position. Can Sonoda this time possibly overtake Leclerc? I think he's a bit far back again. But we'll see. Back up into P2 for us though. Signs 4 seconds up the road. Lap 6, once again Leclerc overtakes us. And once again we've got DRS, but Sonoda is 1 tenth back from us. Is he going to go for the move on us and on Leclerc? He does. We go for the inside. Sonoda goes for the outside. And Sonoda's just got 2 for 1 there. But he's left himself exposed here. We've got DRS. A great move from Sonoda, to be fair. We've got DRS, and we're going to go back past him. I'm not sure if Leclerc will also be able to get back past him. We're on the outside, just like it was yesterday in the sprint. But we re-overtake him. And Tsunoda did keep the position, as now lap 8, tyres beginning to fall as George Russell on the hards, possibly now becoming the better tyre, the harder compound becoming the better tyre. Tsunoda gets an absolutely awful exit out of turn 1 as we've gained 2 seconds to him. I think it might have just been fighting overall that made them struggle. As Russell is going to try and do 2 for 1. He got Leclerc, now he's got Tsunoda. Now at the end of lap 9, we've pushed as much as we can. Russell, those caught up to us, and he's trying to go for the move immediately. We won't be such an easy customer as Tsunoda and Leclerc though. But Russell goes for the inside, copycat move of what Leclerc does. We brake early, go for the switchback on Russell, and that's an absolutely textbook, beautiful move. The old switcheroo, as Crofty would call it. And we're back up into P2 and get the DRS. I'm quite proud of that move, if I do say so myself. Unfortunately, though, Tsunoda down in P6 now. He just lost that position to Sergio Perez. Can Russell try and come back at us? No, he can't. Not on this lap anyway. End of that lap, though. Russell trying to go on the outside. We've done so much fighting that Leclerc's caught up to us. On the inside, Russell doesn't leave us much space from on the inside. So we tap him a bit, and that allows Leclerc to overtake Russell, and then once again overtake us. Our pit window's open though now, so we're going to push as much as we can. But once again, with DRS and slipstream, no ERS even needed. We're going to go back down the inside, down the outside of Leclerc. As both Russell and Leclerc, I think Russell went for the move on Leclerc, as Leclerc went on the move on the move for us. Wow, went 3 wide into turn 2. Now we pit this lap. Leclerc following us in. Hopefully we can come out stay ahead of him in the pit stops, and hopefully we can undercut George Russell and get a bigger gap margin over him. Leclerc in the pit, and now we pit. Hope we can get a good stop by the crew. Nice, 2.3, but we have to wait there for Leclerc. Oh. We're going to have to get him back as quickly as possible. I cannot be behind Leclerc if I want a chance of winning this race, because we could undercut Sainz as well. I think if he's doing a medium to soft, if he goes long on those mediums. Obviously he was about 10 seconds ahead of us, but still. I think about the massive dive bomb there. Can't do it. Have to brake very aggressively there. Neutral again. Seems to be a theme in this video. But now with DRS, using battery, gaining. I'm going to go down the inside of Charles Leclerc into turn 4. I'm not too sure about the turns actually. I'm just inventing. Thanks, Mark. And now Russell, Perez and Tsunoda all pitting. Yep, teammate in the pits. And now we do want to fight Leclerc, so hopefully he doesn't go for the move here. Let's see where we come out in relation to them though. As we're around the final corner, Russell's moving, I believe already. Tsunoda, I think, had to wait, just like we had to. Leclerc going for the move on the outside this time. Once again, we will have the DRS, but we can brake later that time and have the inside and keep the position. So we get DRS. Russell and Leclerc come out side by side. Perez looks like he's behind Tsunoda. There's Norris. There's someone going slow. I think it's, yep, Lando Norris is out the race. He's had an engine failure. Finally, someone else is having engine failures other than us. Sainz 33 seconds up the road, and I can see on the minimap, Sainz is already pitting. We're not at the end of Sector 2 yet. Really shows how far ahead we are he is compared to us. Joe also hasn't pit. Sainz going onto the hard tyres though. Yep, he's still in the pit, but he's coming out now, and Joe also in the pit. Russell though, is he going to go for the move? We're going to go to the... Which way is he going to go? To the left, to the right? He's going to be to the right. And we're going to cut very aggressively on him there. And there's a yellow flag. There's a safety car. Absolutely no idea why. I think it was because of us, but Russell seems fine. I think Russell like locked up. We cut across him. Russell just kept going straight to avoid any contact or something. I'm not sure. Then Leclerc just crashed into Leclerc, I think, but that's completely eradicated Sainz's gaps. That's not good for him whatsoever. I think Russell locked up and to the so Russell locked up and Leclerc was turning in and Russell kept going. So I think that's what happened. Yeah, Leclerc's out. So safety car in this lap then. We're going to be right on the back of Sainz. His hards won't be fired up. We have the softer compound, so this is going to help us out a lot here. Here we go then. So, prepare to resume racing. Here we go. On Sainz, you must feel like Hamilton did in Zandvoort 2022, where he was on the hard tyres. Everyone else was on a lot softer compound. And just like in Zandvoort 2022, like Verstappen overtook Hamilton on the main straight on the restart, we overtake Sainz on the restart. As now Sainz down in P5. Oh, I feel quite bad for him. But to be fair, Ferrari did muck up his strategy a bit, but he was leading quite comfortably if that safety car hadn't happened. So now Tsunoda is it's a 1-2 for us. I didn't notice that, but Tsunoda and I both P1 and P2, and we had to use that gap as much as we could. Now lap 21, Russell on our back with DRS now as well. He's not going to go for the move. Is he going to go for the move into turn 1? No, not quite. He's going to stay behind. But through turn 2, we get caught up a bit on the curb. So we head towards the end of Sector 1. Russell's going to go on the outside and overtake us up into P1 of this race. I did not intend to do that. I did not intend to go right back down the inside, but he braked so early and I just took it. Get a warning for a collision and we get DRS as well. So we're going to need to use that. End of lap 23 though. Russell, you do not overtake there, Russell, but he's made it work. Fair enough to him. We'll get DRS then. This is the good thing about Austria. If you can't get him in the first DRS zone, you can get him in the second. If you can't get him in the second, you can get him in the third. And they're all back to back as well, so that really helps. Couldn't get him in the first, but we will get DRS here. And we'll use our ERS. And look how fast we gain. If we had that other aerodynamics upgrade as well, we would be gaining him to him a lot quicker. That DRS upgrade that failed. So now on the second to last lap, so we start the last lap of the race. Russell 8/10 behind us. I think he does have DRS on us, but if as long as we can keep it clean and not make any mistakes at the end of sector up until sector 2 at the end of this back straight, we should be good enough for the win, I reckon. This could be our first win, but Russell isn't that willing to let it go. Tsunoda also in P3 fighting for P4. If he could get his maiden podium here in Formula 1. I hope he does. He really does deserve it. Russell, we've done it enough, I think, to win the race. But I was too focused on Tsunoda's and Alonso's battle. I just go really deep, and that's not going to help us at all. Russell does momentarily overtake us. We do keep the position. But Russell isn't willing to give up a win that easily. He's still right on our back, and he's going to try and go for the move on the outside. Just on the inside, can we keep it? We shove him very wide there. Because we want this win, and we will take this win. And here we are, lap 25, we win our first race. We have won the Austrian Grand Prix.
Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. A result that will make Sergio Perez happy as he pushes his championship lead out even further. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day? It's time to check out the constructor standings. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One, so be sure to join us for the next one.
Our first race win then in the Alpha Tauri. It's really good for us. Really good for momentum going to Silverstone, our home race, remember, next week. From P4 as well. Alonso from P12 up into P3. That's a really good recovery from him. Tsunoda up into P4. Really good from us. Sainz, though, finishing in P6. Unlucky for him in the standings then. Sergio Perez gains to Sainz by 1 point. So now the gap is at 5 points. We've overtaken Alonso and from the sprint, and now we're outright clear of him and catching up to Lewis Hamilton, only 83 points away from that championship lead. We now cemented our status in P4, 50 points away from the Mercedes, and hopefully we can build on that. Intercooler's failed though, but we have a contract renewal. Hopefully we will be re-signing with AlphaTauri. But guys, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It does help out so much. And I'll see you guys next time for the British Grand Prix. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are too. Goodbye.